The moment he moves, everything changes. One misstep, and the mission turns deadly. This is your warning. The next 10 chapters are packed with action, strategy, and high-stakes conflict. Mok-Jin Lee navigates a galaxy where martial arts and technology collide. The crew faces mechanical threats, powerful adversaries, and power struggle across neon cities and high-tech towers. You're about to see every choice carry weight, every fight escalate tension, and every alliance tested in ways that could change the outcome forever. Keep your focus, because these beats build rapidly and nothing is as it seems. Mok-Jin Lee pushes through the high-tech facility, encountering a red-haired woman, a brown-haired ally, and a young blonde girl, each stepping into the fray as mechanical droids and training devices snap into motion around them. A droid goes down from an energy blast, its pieces scattering across the floor, but the pressure doesn't let up. The older bald man in a suit watches silently, calculating. Their discussion touches on droid operations, their roles in the facility, and what's at stake. Every maneuver he makes here threads him tighter into a web of obligation and danger, and you can feel the trap closing behind each choice. Mok-Jin moves through the neon-lit city with a quiet focus, his steps measured yet urgent, sensing the weight of unseen eyes on him from every shadowed alley. Each encounter tests him, strangers offering veiled warnings, factions subtly circling for advantage, and he reads every gesture, every flicker of expression, as if the city itself is a battlefield. He pauses at a street corner, scanning digital interfaces and holographic displays, absorbing data and calculating risks. The balance of power around him shifts with every interaction, and even the briefest hesitation could spell disaster. A tense exchange erupts when another character challenges his intentions, forcing Mok-Jin to assert authority with precision. Words are weapons, glances are threats, and the undercurrent of past alliances and betrayals coils tightly around him. Decisions have immediate consequences, and the city pulses with anticipation, each movement carrying the potential to ignite a larger conflict. Mok-Jin presses forward, every choice deliberate, aware that miscalculations here ripple far beyond the glowing streets. Mok-Jin unleashes a torrent of movement, striking with precision against his armored opponent until a massive shockwave erupts, breaking the enemy's defenses and sending debris flying across the high-tech arena. As the dust settles, he takes stock of the aftermath, scanning the environment for lingering threats while feeling the weight of every prior decision pressing down. His red-haired ally approaches cautiously, concern etched on her face, and they exchange urgent words, assessing what went wrong, what must be corrected, and how their actions ripple outward in this confined, perilous space. The consequences of hesitation are clear, and every step forward must be calculated, every glance gauging potential retaliation. Even victory carries risk, as the tower's gates seal with finality, signaling that escape is limited and the next confrontation could erupt before they are ready. Together, they adjust their strategy, tension coiling tight as the next challenge looms, and the locked tower becomes both shield and cage. The red headband tight on his brow, Mok-Jin cuts through enemies with calculated energy bursts. Every foe he neutralizes seems a test of his limits, and when the masked adversary arrives, he shifts, teleports mid-fight, avoiding a deadly strike and countering with precision. Each step is deliberate. Each reaction pushes him closer to mastery of his powers. But here is the wild part. The masked opponent adapts, forcing Mok-Jin to evolve instantly. The air hums with energy, neon lights reflecting off every metallic surface, painting his movements in flashes of peril and brilliance that demand your attention. Mok-Jin's mind fractures as memories flood in, visions of past combat, and a girl long gone colliding with his current reality. Each flash of recollection brings physical strain. His body reacts instinctively, while his mind wavers. The young woman beside him senses the change, her concern grounding him briefly before the weight returns. He grapples with fate, identity, and the echoes of previous lives, each thought a puzzle, each breath a fight to maintain clarity. By the end, he teeters on the edge between what was and what is, and the world around him seems to tilt in response. Explosions ripple across the battlefield as a mysterious figure moves with uncanny precision, targeting multiple combatants at once. Mok-Jin and his allies are forced into constant motion, dodging energy blasts and collapsing debris while trying to maintain formation. Injuries pile up quickly, and the strain of the fight pushes each character to reassess trust and strategy under pressure. Every decision becomes a gamble, every strike measured against an opponent whose next move is impossible to predict. Allies scramble to support one another, shifting positions and improvising attacks as the environment itself fractures under the assault. One sudden, decisive action by the unknown attacker tears through the center of the conflict, forcing Mok-Jin to rethink the battlefield entirely. Power dynamics shift in an instant, leaving the group teetering on the edge of chaos, and the city around them trembles under the weight of their struggle. Even a minor misstep could cascade into disaster, making each second a test of skill, intuition, and survival. Mok-Jin faces a towering, heavy-set opponent whose energy attacks crackle with unrelenting force, forcing him to twist and dive with precise timing. Each strike from the massive figure threatens to tear through the ground and the air itself, sending arcs of power that sear the surroundings and distort vision. Mok-Jin counters with agile maneuvers, weaving between blasts and swinging momentum to land his own precise strikes, but every move carries risk. The opponent's relentless assault pushes him to the edge of his limits, and then a massive vortex of energy erupts, scattering debris and light in all directions. Mok-Jin floats through the chaos, calculating each step, adjusting for the unpredictable flows of power around him. Shockwaves ripple across the battlefield, knocking aside obstacles and forcing allies to react defensively. Every heartbeat carries weight as the confrontation escalates, leaving the outcome uncertain. Survival, skill, and split-second decisions collide, shaping the moment into a high-stakes test of reflexes and resolve. The short-haired girl moves through the rain-slicked industrial corridors, each step deliberate as shadows flicker across rusted walls and neon reflections. She senses the presence of pursuers before they make themselves known, reacting instantly to block an incoming strike and counter with swift precision. Rain drips and hisses as it splashes against metal, masking her movements and bending light to obscure her path, giving her fleeting advantage. Every corner holds potential danger, forcing her to weave through narrow passages and slip past automated surveillance with calculated grace. She reaches a darkened pool, the water swallowing her form as she disappears beneath the surface, leaving only ripples and distorted reflections behind. Isolation presses down, heightening awareness, and every sound in the wet cityscape reminds her that survival depends on split-second decisions. The pursuit is relentless, yet she uses the environment itself as both shield and weapon, adapting instinctively to maintain the fragile edge that separates capture from freedom. The female protagonist emerges from the liquid vat, her body trembling with disorientation and the shock of vulnerability as she realizes she is naked in an unfamiliar environment. A small robotic entity hovers nearby, its presence both unsettling and strangely guiding, displaying system interfaces that flash labels like Satellite and Alpha. She studies the readouts, trying to piece together her surroundings, every movement cautious, as if the facility itself is watching her. Machines hum, panels shift, and automated systems respond to her presence, creating a tense atmosphere where every choice carries potential consequence. She steps cautiously through dimly lit corridors, testing the stability of her footing and the reactions of the environment, aware that a single misstep could trigger alarms or unknown defenses. Her focus sharpens, instincts honed by survival instinct kicking in, as she navigates the metallic maze, absorbing information from the robotic entity and the digital readouts, gradually piecing together the structure and purpose of the high-tech industrial facility surrounding her. The battlefield erupts as orders are challenged, and the androids refuse compliance, forcing chaos to unfold rapidly. Photon cannons blaze through the air, each blast sending shockwaves across the industrial setting, and Mok-Jin and Sunja must dodge, counter, and rethink every movement to avoid being overwhelmed. Authority clashes with free will as program directives collide with emergent decisions, revealing cracks in the rigid control systems. Every maneuver becomes critical. An ally's hesitation can mean the difference between survival and disaster. The android's defiance forces rapid adaptation, as strategic choices must account for both human instincts and unpredictable machine responses. Confusion and split-second decisions layer atop each other, with trust and recognition strained between allies as they confront this new reality. By the time the firefight settles, the environment itself bears the scars of revolt, showing that even in structured hierarchies, defiance can reshape outcomes, and survival demands intelligence, courage, and unyielding resolve. After these 10 chapters, the stage is set. Alliances are fragile, enemies adapt faster than expected, and powers are escalating beyond control. Mok-Jin and his allies are forced to reconcile past life memories, strategic battles, and technology that seems almost alive. Each victory is tempered with consequence. Each encounter lays the groundwork for the next. The narrative thread suggests that mastery alone won't save them. Perception, adaptability, and trust will be just as critical. We leave the story at a high tension point, primed for further confrontations and revelations. Subscribe to catch the next Space Cheon-ma recap, where new threats and betrayals push Mok-Jin to his limits.